Bark. Heck. Bjork.
Also, I really dig this costume. Did they equip something on Amelia? No. No, they didn't. They just gave her this freaking outfit.
Okay, so it looks like the voice actress did not play Harley Quinn, so basically it's just Mr. Jake. Alright.
Okay, but that's super, like...
Yeah.
It's super obvious reference. Fuck me.
Yeah, this is a guy who's supposed to be in jail for 800 years for total chaos in the city. So yeah, it's...
I would imagine so. I imagine it would be very hot in this thing. What the hell's all this shit? Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. The king doesn't know either? Fucking, like, what, King of Shinro? Just doesn't know who that Joker nerd was? Alright. So, good thing, I remember, oh, hey, you. From Red's, shit. From Red's scenario, I remember where the secret passage thing was located, but as a kid, this literally was the part where my attempt to do Amelia's and Red's stories would both just end. Because it's almost impossible to figure this out without a guide. It's really goofy.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of any games actually. I'm trying to think of any games actually you did play back. They were RPGs back in the day, because I think my cousin was more the RPG player when it came to PlayStation. Like, I think the only RPG I remember playing was a game called, like, Vanguard Bandits.
I remember seeing Vanguard Bandits advertised in the back of, like, manuals, I think for SaGa Frontier, or possibly Final Fantasy VII. But I remember the advertisement.
I think one of the things that kept making me come back to it is just the fact is, like, this is actually, I played the game roughly around the time Escaflowne came out.
Oh, man, you're taking me back with that Escaflowne shit, jeez.
So I kind of got really into it, because basically you were basically in these basically Escaflowne like mobile suits, like parrying and fencing for some reason, and doing this in giant suits of armor for some reason.
Oh yeah, I remember. It was all with mobile suits and shit. God, that's radical. Yeah. I should try that game out someday. Possibly you can stream it. I don't know.
Possibly, it has some jank to it that I don't remember as a kid. But then again, basically, it also has an anime intro, so I really geeked out that part all the time. I would just say
absolutely. If a game in the PS1 era had an animated intro, you've just won my filthy little weeb heart with that shit 100%. I don't even care what it is. That's like, I loved Evil Zone unapologetically as a shit child because of that.
Let's see. One of the things that was kind of interesting, I do kind of remember this, is this actually happened to me where early on in the game you kind of were like given a choice, like follow the guy or stay with your friends that kind of recover. And basically I chose one option, but then the power went out and I lost save progress.
Oh no!
So basically I redid the fight, accidentally just pressed the button to go with him, and got a completely different chain of events, which is kind of interesting.
That is actually cool. A lot of like, there wasn't much branching path shit back then. Aside from what Suikoden 2, I think was, in a lot of ways a very remarkable entry in the JRPG genre back then. Aside from that, I don't think like the prevalence of branching narratives was quite as high.
Chrono Trigger had, Cross had quite a few branching paths, did not?
We don't talk about Chrono Cross in this house. No, I'm just kidding.
Fuck you, Chrono Cross is good.
I know, I'm joking. I'm joking just because everybody hates it. I know, I remember Chrono Cross, and I couldn't get far in it because I was a child with, like, badly medicated ADD, so, like, I couldn't get very far in many JRPGs, but, like, I never had a big problem with Chrono Cross aside from its, in-battle frame rate.
Yeah, Chrono Cross is really fucking good, and the only reason people don't like it is because it's not a sequel to Chrono Trigger, which, like, I mean, okay, maybe. That's maybe a valid complaint, but I don't think it's one...
I thought in the same way, it's also a point in favor of games like Xenosaga.
First for me, like, I mean, granted, I never played Chrono Cross, but basically, like, even as a kid, I never did like, I always did get affected, but basically, like, the polygon designs in JRPGs back then were not nowhere near as easy on the eyes as it is with like sprites and whatnot. I think Vanguard banned its split sprite, and you could turn on a polygon battle thing during turn attacks, kind of like what
weird.
Fire Emblem Awakening does in those games.
And also what Xenogears did, if I recall correctly, with the God, I want to say eggs units, but that's from fucking Xenosaga. What the hell were they called in Xenogears? The mechs.
Let me take a look.
But I distinctly remember the mechs being 3D rendered, being like 3D in battle, but all the characters were sprites, and it actually looked really good. I could use Will Slash here, but nah.
Wait, was it just called Gears?
Maybe. Hey. Kick, Zero Sword, Lethal Gun, and I don't think you'll get your turn, but if I queue up a magic spell, then he's got a chance to learn a new one, so...
Yeah, it looks like it was just simply called Gear.
Oh, wow.
Gears. Yeah, I didn't really get into JRPGs. I just didn't really start going gung-ho, jump in on everything I get my grumpy little hands up to help out. Yeah, Persona 3, actually. When I started going, kind of kicking it up. Which ironically, I rented out of sheer boredom, thinking, oh god, this thing's just gonna be the most lamest JRPG Final Fantasy knockoff ever.
You got a good surprise then, huh?
Oh hell yeah!
Nice.
Okay, you remember like in Persona 5 how there was the Persona Awakening anime cutscene?
Yep.
Basically, Persona 3 did the same thing, and they actually show the transformation from the culture child to the oh my god, kick ass! You see this guy in the back art cover character, and just like it less than an hour of gameplay.
That's pretty radical.
Yeah, I almost said Final Fantasy 3. No, Persona 3 like really gets down to it like real quick.
That's shocking, consider like based upon what I know of Persona 4 and what I actually played, Persona 5. Like those games, they have like hour-long tutorial segments. Fuck that.
Persona 5 is actually not even as bad as Persona 4. Persona 4 takes so long to get going.
You've got at least like basically to get the actual gameplay, to get to actual combat kind of things. I would have to say it takes about 1-2 hours of atmosphere setting, which on one hand is not that bad when you're trying to tell a story, but on the other hand, to kind of keep an attention span, it's kind of a curve.
My problem with Persona 4 taking so long to get going is because a lot of that is characters going, "Whoa, what's this Persona thing? What's going on here? Why are we in the Shadow Realm?" And like anyone who's familiar with, it's the 4th game in a series that's already not like super broadly popular. You can skip the whole "what's going on here, guys" thing. Like we all know what's going on. Like, you don't need to ease us into the world of Persona in the 4th game in the series.
Honestly, that's a good ass point.
Basically the exposition was a little too heavy on some of the things. Like you could just kind of go like, they just exist, let's just move on, kind of things. Like the thing we noticed, like basically especially with 3, 4, and 5, and this is kind of why I will always be sick. I will always have a groaning effect whenever people want to try to connect the 3 games, just because like the origins of the shadows, it gets so bouncing all over the place. Like, please don't do this. Let's just roll one game at a time. Final Fantasy this thing. Please don't try to tell me that Skyrim is based in the same universe as Fallout. Let's not go that route.
Oh, and you did learn a new mind magic. Nice.
But that's some real game theory shit.
Things like in
not even the good game theory where it's like actually the school of the field of mathematics. Oh my god, this character design, go on, but like get a load of this shit.
Okay, this guy see. In Persona 3, the shadows are just like basic living creatures. They're not actually they're not like in the games of the universe. They're not existential in any way, shape, or form. They're just creatures that prey on living, who basically somehow can survive the Dark Hour. or awaken, as I guess it would. In Persona 4 and 5, they kind of started going a little more canon to them being suppressed dark emotions within the individual.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, they really went heavy on the psychological angle in P5 at least, like harder than I think the rest of the series went. Right?
No, you have no in Persona 4 Golden. At least I don't know if this is in the base game as well, but in Persona 4 Golden, they have like these little bonus segments that you can read that it's literally just a character explaining concepts of psychology to you.
Fucking goofy.
Yeah.
Like it's literally just a character sitting there telling you what the id is.
That's really interesting. It's very fucking Japanese though. Like,
I think that wasn't. I think that was in the original.
That's like the most Japanese shit I've ever heard, to be honest.
I don't know. Persona 4, yeah, like Persona 4 Persona 4 was at least entertaining in the fact that they did dive deeper into people's flaws. Because basically what they kind of do, like they kind of go like the shadow shows the parts of themselves that they're ashamed of. They kind of admit it, but the thing is, they're still trying to get used to it and try to still actually full on accept those flaws within them. So it kind of has the problem. It basically, remember that problem I said about Persona 5? How basically they set up trauma. They do a great job setting up the trauma, but when it comes to like actually dealing with the remainder once the peak is done, they kind of just drop it hard and fast and just brush it off. P4 kind of has it a little better. Like basically, they actually have characters that do still deal with like mournings of like of certain characters' deaths.
Good, because that bothered me a lot about P5. Like, in addition to the just overtly problematic shit, like there's nuggets of even grosser, more complicatedly so. Like, I like that stuff. Also, I just want to know, a fun thing I remembered, these costumes that you can now revisit of Amelia's actually change her modifiers for talentedness, for likelihood to, like, spark, that is, spontaneously learn new skills of different types. So, like, she's actually more likely to learn new martial arts techniques, if I recall correctly, in the pink tiger outfit. It's actually pretty interesting.
Oh, cool! It's Lightning Returns.
Yep. Actually, I think.
Oh no! Now it's bad. What the fuck is this ladder? I've never been down here.
Lightning Returns is so good.
Never been down here. What the fuck?
I played part 1, part 2 a little bit. I could not. What? I did not want to risk getting third.
What is it? I've never been down here. I didn't know these NPCs existed. What the fuck? Oh my god.
Well, Lightning Returns is a super good game, and it's way better than either of the other two Final Fantasy 13s, because it is essentially, and without hyperbole, it is basically like Majora's Mask as a Final Fantasy game.
Fuck
it's
me.
Fucking ridiculous.
That sounds really goofy. And I've heard nothing but clown shoes dog shit about every game beyond Final Fantasy 13, and I played FF13. That's really interesting though.
Yeah, no, because basically what happens is that like the world is fucked, and the god is like, well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna completely restart the world, in a totally new world, but we need people to populate this new world. So what you, Lightning, my scion, what you're supposed to do is you go onto Earth and you solve people's problems, and by solving people's problems, their soul gets transported like up into the heavens, basically. And then when the world is restarted, they'll be in the new world.
What is this? I've never seen this fucking building either. Why did I not explore this town? What the hell?
Chicken.
Yeah, it's a chicken. It's a chicken friend. Man, I missed a lot of shit. That's the problem I have a lot with these pre-rendered backgrounds. Is like they're really pretty, but one thing Final Fantasy VII figured out, and I'm pretty sure FF7 came out before these games, and this is the same fucking Squaresoft, is that you should have little floating red markers over actual like enterable spots, because you can't tell like what is a proper doorway you can walk into and what isn't on a lot of these. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. No, like that's where, like.
So where do I go then?
That's where Resident Evil did the smart thing of setting their pre-rendered world in an actual house, so you can tell where you're supposed to go because they're all just doors.
Yeah, yeah. Like just about every door is either openable or you can check it and it tells you it's locked. But like it's clear that everything in a house is a door. Every exit in any section of a house is a fucking doorway because that's how houses work. So like it's intuitive to the player in that very specific context. But like here, it's just gets a little muddier.
Yeah, it's like a cyberpunk weird future, semi-future thing.
Yeah, and especially with like caves and shit, and even like just volumes of like psychedelic space and whatnot. There's a couple areas like that in SaGa Frontier, where it does get genuinely very muddy. Oh, come on. So I'm trying to think of where I should go next then. If my boss here, Rufus, doesn't have fucking work for me.
Yeah, this is the main aspect I definitely don't miss of fucking PS1 era game design is the where the fuck do I go syndrome.
That may have actually been why I like Persona 3 so much. It's like, just go do something. That will fly by. Okay. Like, you just literally just go to sleep and you'll be good to go.
Okay. Do some Joker artwork. Fun. Okay. So let me just save real quick. Because apparently there's fucking... I don't want to spoil it, but there's some shit in Amelia's. So far, at the very least, this is nowhere near like what Acellus has got going on.
Better than a platypus.
Oh wait a second. I already met Rufus. Oh, that's goofy. I should remember to like just go and talk to him again. See, that's one of the worst parts of JRPGs is progression is the same place I just was, and I would have checked every other area in the entire game first.
Yeah.
It's got that obnoxious problem point and click thing where you gotta keep going back and forth in places like hey.
Until they repeat. Yeah, it's an old. A lot of newer games like figured out how to get away from that. I would like to say it's a charming aspect of. Wait, what? Okay, I guess not. I'd like to say it was a charming aspect of the genre, but it ain't.
Speaking of point and clicks, the Homestuck point and click has come out in 3 days, and boy am I excited to do that.
Are you serious? Oh, that's gonna be a shit show.
I completely forgot about that franchise or series or fandom.
Is it called Spurb?
No, it's Hive Bent. And it's like a completely new story in the same universe, which, you know, obviously that's probably the best thing you could have done.
Yeah, actually it is.
I don't know. I'm definitely betting that there will be cameos by series regulars.
Okay, so fun thing, you have to do this seemingly useless training mission to get progression. I did not know. Ow. That's really goofy. I cannot believe that. Like, why would a player think to come back here? Oh well. It's almost as bad as their, Naga, were you here for, I think I might have just explained to you when I was doing Acellus' scenario in this game? How her progression was totally randomized?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you just had to wander around the world to get ambushed by bosses. There's some experimental stuff this game does.